Good evening. I'm John Rainville. I'm here with Misty, Billy, and Alani. And we chose to talk about topic number 5. And when we got creative, we wanted to talk about school on a 12-month model. Now you may say, well, the 12-month model's been tried before. There's nothing new, nothing creative about it. What we're trying to show here is that we are not just taking 180 days and spreading it out over 12 months. The academic benefits for doing that has been tried, and they've been shown to have minimal, if any, measurable academic benefit at all. However, there have been links to improve student health going with 12-month model. Our 12-month model is based on the concept that kids are constantly asking, when am I ever going to use this? So what we have is a model set up here, let's see, in which we could do it 2 ways. And we're really focusing here, talking mostly on high school, but this could also be this model could be used in the K through 8 as well. In this model, you've got 4 quarters, but 2 quarters equal a semester. So a course is still a semester long. And what we're looking at here is first an 8-week traditional classroom instruction. And that's, of course, still it remains based in state standards. However, at the end of that 8-week phase, the students go into a field study phase where they are applying what they've learned in tactical, hands-on methods. And what that's going to look like, one of my teammates is going to describe that in detail here in a minute. After that 2-week field study phase, the students return to the classroom and go back to a more richer classroom phase. And then that is followed by a 2-week field study where now they are expected to be able to master the content of what they had. And their exit ticket to the class is that they will have a report due to their teacher as a final examination. Also tied into this is a constant update of the curriculum. We're not waiting for the state to say, hey, here's our new standards coming out. This is the teachers are constantly sending in reports saying this is what's working, this is not what's working. What we have here, again, this is just the 2-semester model. What is slightly different about this is that the field study phase is longer. However, there is only 1 field study phase per the course, and it is at the end after 15 weeks of classroom instruction. So I will be followed by Alani. Alani, I think.
Ronnie, your microphone is muted.
Good evening. My name is Lonnie, and I'll be discussing the CTE portion of our 12-month plan. CTE stands for Career Technical Education, and ideally with this plan, we were looking to be able to enhance the student skills. The model and overall scope for what we're looking at is that we're going to be able to teach all students, and the emphasis is going to be on teaching the strengths, not weaknesses. Ideally so, there's going to be a couple of classes that I'm going to give you a highlight and overview for here briefly, but I just want to kind of get into the basis of what the plan is going to be. The sources of these classes are going to be electives for the students. And what makes it really universal is that the primary basis of the CT classes are hands-on, to where the students will be able to apply critical skills on the line of being able to master that particular course and be able to go back out again and be able to apply these skills, hopefully after they graduate from school. The students will receive credits towards their high school diploma. In addition to that, it makes it universal that if they decide to change and they're interested in another type of class, maybe next semester, they have the ability to do that. They don't have to primarily stay with that one particular course. Additionally, with that, when we start talking about how we're developing 21st century students, we have to develop them that they'll be able to be universal out in the workforce, that they can really take their skills applied in school and be able to go immediately right there and be able to apply themselves. We've done the model and we understand that all students are not going to be able to go to college, but there is a place where they can find themselves to be able to develop mastery. So if I talk about this highlight on some of the key courses that I think really make up a really ideal formula in a curriculum that we're building, when you start talking about agriculture as a whole, the FAA courses, Future Farmers of America, is really, really a big demand, particularly in some of our states that really highlight in those type of fields. You talk about nursing and early college degree plans, that the students will be able to work with that as well. When you start talking about electronics and computers and things along those lines, when we start talking about technology, you have the robotics, you have the drone program. We're still going to be applying career fields as far as having applications to where we have personnel that come to the school, such as workshops, such as ACT and ABSAB courses. JRTC is going to be a large part of this as well. So CTE is going to be able to offer a host of information to be able to prepare students for the future, ideally so that they can get out there and become awesome citizens in our nation. I'll be followed by Misty.
So one of the things that we've learned in the pandemic era is that our students are very familiar with technology, but we don't always necessarily use it in the classroom or in the learning capacity that it is maximized at. So our model is more of the post-pandemic, where we have a few less limitations, but take what we learned from the pandemic learning process to move our kids to the next step. First of all, technology will not become a secondary component for delivering the material, so such as remote learning, using document cameras to show students things, but actually becoming a tool to demonstrate those 21st century skills that they need to maximize. Students will be using it to do research, conduct basic skills, but then use it to open up the barriers that we have of limitations in rural communities or limitations based on the constructs of a brick and mortar school. If students have an interest in a subject like zoology, that may not be something that they can explore at a high school level in a rural area, but with use of technology, we don't have to limit it. We can take them on field trips using the technology. We can have them connected to zoologists. We can have them learning the things that aren't limited by our previous constructs. Additionally, with the technology, we'll be able to increase our use of curriculum and update it at a much more faster speed. As John previously mentioned, curriculum in the past was bound by books or by timelines. We waited till the end of the school year. With the technology we have and the model that we're looking at, curriculum can be updated on a quarterly or even more current basis to meet the needs of our students. Lastly, the technology would allow us to communicate with our students in a variety of ways to give them the opportunity to apply these skills in internship processes. So using what Lonnie described as career technical skills, we could give kids credit for opportunities in the field while still having access to them. So being able to video chat and to access what they're learning, as well as having them use that learning to teach other students who are coming behind them. And so now we're going to turn it over to Billy to talk to us about our learning model.
Next slide, please. All right, so to kind of reiterate and reinforce what my teammates have said, Our envision of a new model for the schools will improve the structure and integrate processes mentioned by all my teammates for the future needs of our students, whatever those might be. Our model is going to be a content update, sort of like a Lean Six Sigma, constant process improvement in the form of after action reports after each class or after each, as necessary. For this, we're going to need the support of our administrator for them to be tracking curriculum updates as needed in order for the model to work. Utilizing sort of kind of the Bloom's taxonomy, where to create, evaluate, analyze, applies, understand, and remember. This school model will go ahead and integrate all the aspects, all the technology we have with synchronous and asynchronous combination for the online process to continue. Next slide, please. John. All right, so right here with our model of the schooling, we'll begin with the lectures as mentioned by John and by Misty. She mentioned that we're not longer going to be just feeding our students the information. They'll have those tools at their disposal so they can go ahead and get the information as necessary, utilizing all the open source information out there, plus the information that will be derived from our curriculum, depending on whatever class that is, whether it's robotics, whether it's FFA, whether it's math, science, or physics. During the field studies, our students, they're going to be able to put into practice what they have learned in the previous week. That's when the demonstration pieces come into place right at the 30%. Then they will return back to the classroom and they will discuss that with the rest of the students and with the teachers, where they're going to go ahead and troubleshoot, and they're going to have discussions after what works, what didn't work, and that sort of thing. Also, on the second week of the field portion of it, they'll be doing more practicing, implementing what they learned, and building up on their knowledge. Lastly, at the end of the course, they're going to be able to demonstrate what they learned, as well as be able to teach other students what they have learned. So that is the basics of our new or proposed school model. Hopefully, with the support of the districts and the support of the administration, we'll be able to implement it. That is it.